also, one of the things that came up this week is that General Motors finance arm.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about this.
Will no longer give starting Thursday, July 1st, they will no longer offer a payoff to third-party concerns that might be interested in buying the car. Those payoffs are only going to be available to the customer if they want to buy it.
I got an email about this. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Or through the dealership, because they want to ensure that the GM dealers get first crack at these lease returns. They don't want them going to Carvana, CarMax, Vroom, any of those other types. They want GM dealers to be able to get first crack at these cars so that they can have more pre-owned cars for their own inventory. They did say that they are going to relook at this at the end of the year to reevaluate what it is that they're going to do and whether or not they're going to continue down this path. But at least for the next 5 months, 6 months, you won't be able to get a payoff. If you go to Carvana, they won't quote Carvana payoff.
RWD Please says BMW is doing that as well.
Okay.
So here's an email I got, which is great. It said, "Good evening, and I hope you are both well. In case you were not already aware, GM will no longer allow lease customers. I have 2 current GM leases, each with 9 payments remaining, to sell any GM lease unit to a non-GM dealer effective Thursday, July 1st next week. Yep. The customer must either only trade or turn the vehicle into a GM dealer or purchase the lease outright from GM Financial," which is still not a bad option. You just need to have the cash.
You could purchase it.
Yep.
And then you could turn around and sell it for whatever that profit would be, which would still be significant.
It takes more cash in hand to be able to do this, because what was previously happening is Carvana would send the payoff for you. Yes. Or someone else would be fronting the money, essentially.
Yes.
Making the process simpler.
Yeah.
And now GM's saying
it's more difficult, but
this, to me, is anti-consumer. It's anti-competition, it's anti-consumer, and it's not right.
Of course it's anti-consumer, because they want to make sure
GM is serving its dealer group.
Well, yeah, they feel as if they have an obligation to that dealer group that buys billions of dollars worth of cars from GM, that has invested trillions of dollars in buildings and building upgrades, and so that they want to do what they can to assist the dealers in making sure that they'll be able to have pre-owned inventory in the future. And they don't want that pre-owned inventory going to these new giants in the used car business, like the CarMaxes and the Carvanas of the world. They don't care whether they survive. They care that their dealer body survives.
Which I get, but my point again is, it's anti-consumer to be doing this. We've seen people for months benefit.
Let me put it to you this way: when things were normal, and you could buy the car for residual value, and the residual value was always much higher than its true market value, GM wasn't worried about it then. Okay, they weren't worried about giving a payoff to a third-party concern if that third-party concern wanted to pay too much for the car.
Matt Johnson's reminding me, Pops, don't worry. You're forgetting who owns the car during the lease act they're called to make. I agree, but you also sign a contract with the consumer, and it has a payoff. And you're intentionally making it more difficult for that consumer to have the funds sent for the payoff. I'm not saying, of course you have to pay the payoff. But we've had, Chevy dealerships or Ford dealerships that you have to go back to the manufacturer? Now GM's back to the dealer?
You have to go back to the originating dealer to get the
And you
payoff.
have varying payoff amounts. That's another thing that's happening.
Ford will give the originating dealer what the real payoff is, and then the originating dealer is free to quote the consumer or the third party that's interested in buying it, whatever payoff they want to quote, so that they can make money on the transaction.